So in this video, we're going to be replacing the charge pipes. This is just a cheap, cheerful one that I found online. I'm not holding hope it's going to be the best one out there, but need it for stage one, and that's what we're going to be doing later on. That's right, we're putting a stage 1 VUDU Tune on my BMW M235i, and we're going to go in depth in how it works, what you need to do it, and what you can see on the dyno. Make sure you subscribe if you like this kind of content. Now let's begin. First job, the airbox. Clip removal. We just need to find the other end now, which I think is up in the air job. Rich has got the right idea.
Let's not fuck about, shall we?
We're not children, we've got bigger toys these days. And there's me. My Halford set, which I still use to this very day. But yeah, as you can see, without a ramp, this would be a bit more of a nightmare job, but it is doable without a ramp. I'm just going to try that now. But yeah, it's getting it on and off, that's the hard part. Trying to suss out how this plastic clip works without breaking it. And me and plastic clips haven't got a good relationship, because I always go at them with big screwdrivers.
I was about to say, it doesn't help when you attack it with the world's largest flathead.
Hey, it's part of a scare tactic.
Intimidate it off.
Yeah, man.
Sounded like something broke.
Nothing broke. It was just scared, that's all, Rich. It's just scared.
That's it.
Ah, yes, boy. And then we just got to get it off from the top. Fuck that thing off. So we're going to save this clip, we're going to keep this clip, and the other one's still on the car, but the rest can go in the bin. There you go. Is there any other seals? No. Not the new seal, but get the seal back in there.
Does it come with new seals?
It works? No. They don't come with new seals, but if there's nothing wrong with the old one, then this was the part that I was having issues with.
Still, is that required?
I believe so. I'm glad they've done it in 2 parts, because I bet how difficult it was to get out. Almost ready to go back on. So that's got to go on like that and up. Trying to make sure that I've got to give myself enough room with this clip. And that's the only thing I can think is going to be difficult, is working out where that clip is going to sit and what's it going to foul against. But we'll try it and just make it up as we go along. Hey, you know what? I think that's pretty decent. Hey, that's clipped in. That's on. Hey, clipped right in place. I think it's got a locating thing at the top. That's snug, that's not going anywhere. Right, let's get the top done. Right, so we've got the sensor back on. Jake's done that for us. We've got the O-ring in. We've got to put this clip in place and that bit on the other end, which hopefully we can squeeze in. But other than that, we should be done. That's popped in. It's hard to explain what's going on because you cannot see, but that's on. Is that on?
That ain't going nowhere.
Now the charge pipe is on, we can put the car back together and do a baseline dyno run and see what difference this tune makes. This is the N55 engine that comes standard in the M235i. It makes 320 brake from standard, so not exactly slow for a stock car. Let's see if she's happy on the dyno before we start putting some power down. So the car made 320 brake, as it should, nice and healthy looking. So looking at this graph, it's quite a big graph. This white line here is horsepower. The blue is the wheel, so shaft, which is the true readout. 320 brake, which is the baseline for this car. If we follow this line, you can see we made that. Bear in mind that is using premium fuel, and a couple of weeks ago we did a run with regular fuel and that made 295 brake, so that is a 25 brake horsepower increase just by using premium fuel. So bear that in mind when you are tuning these cars, that premium fuel really does make the difference. So let's hand you over to Tom at Advocult and he'll tell you a little bit more about this VUDU Stage 1 tune. So what does this Stage 1 tune involve?
So it's like the first step, really. Mostly what it'll do is increase boost levels, which is why you need to do the charge pipe, because the plastic one will just explode. And yeah, it's the first step towards what the engine is capable of without having to worry about, you know, emissions and economy and things like that. These engines they're so capable. The N55 does suffer a little bit with oiling issues when you go really aggressive, and especially under track use and high G-force and things like that. But a Stage 1 tune just really releases all the restrictions that manufacturers have to adhere to. So it's a really simple, quick reflash. It just takes about 10 minutes to do. Do the charge pipe, and then you should come away closer to somewhere around 400, 380, something like that, depending on, you know, the day, the temperatures. And what we'll be able to do now is run it up on the dyno. I'll just read some diagnostics so we can keep an eye on whether the car is pulling any time in or anything like that, which is what will hold the power back. But it's still quite a warm day. So if we can get some nice cool air into the car, it should do exactly the figures that are advertised by VUDU, but it doesn't always work out that way on the dyno. They're on, you know, ideal conditions, and you can't always recreate ideal conditions.
So now it's time to put the VUDU tune on and see how much more power we can make. So just like that, the new VUDU Flash tune is installed and it's time to see what difference it's made. So we've ended up at 353.1 horsepower and 406 pounds of torque. So the thin line is the base power and the thick line is the new figure.
Yeah, so your white line here that's flywheel horsepower. So you can see it mirrors your wheel torque horsepower. Obviously you've got your calculation for if we include the wasted here. So what this does is the dyno measures the wasted power on the rundown.
Yeah.
And that's where it works out the calculation between flywheel and wheel horsepower. So one of the biggest issues we faced here was controlling intake air temps. So I was logging during the run, and you can see your intake air temperatures get up to like high 60 degrees Celsius.
Yeah.
So that's quite high. So as soon as you get to about here, the car will be pulling ignition timing. Now, when you see these reflash tunes and they quote certain horsepower numbers, they are under what you would call ideal conditions. So,
of course,
you know, we're on a dyno, we're not out on the open road. Yes, we've got a big fan, but it's not like constant cool air coming in. We're just trying to control temperatures, so trying to keep safety temperatures in line, like oil temperature and coolant temperature, which it does, but it highlights one or two things. So out on the road, in an ideal world, you will be closer to that quoted horsepower figure, but in a test cell like a dyno where you can't always manage air intake temps, the car for the engine's safety, it's going to start pulling time in a little bit just to keep you safe. So you can see that's what it starts to do here. You would expect the map to creep up just a little bit higher up here and get closer towards that, 370, 380.
Just to that more continuous curve.
Yeah, it will always drop off, as these modern cars, their turbos are sized to be efficient, which is why you see the red line here, your torque curve, it comes in hard.
It's insane to begin with,
Yeah, it stays with you for a bit, and then it just runs out of efficiency. This is why when you want to go stage 3, something like that, you need a hybrid turbo that will keep this torque further along the rev range. But all down low here, which is, even when you're in sports mode, it rarely revs you close up to red line. So we've gained, 10, 20, 30, over 30 horsepower in the efficiency range of the engine. So it's a massive increase. It's just a shame that you can't see that ideal condition result. But yeah, it's a great result. But yeah, it's just trying to really understand, making sure the car is safe, logging all the data cells that we need to. But this is where you would gain from going stage 2 with that better intercooler. Because it's not just on the dyno, but in real world conditions, you'll keep those air intake temps down as well.
I don't think I could have said that any better myself, to be honest. So Tom at Advocult, thank you very much for doing that, helping me understand the ins and outs of it all, and to do what I need to do to achieve that magic 400, which sounds like decat, intercooler, and possibly an air intake, but who knows. Either way, hopefully this helps you understand how this stage 1 mapping works and the tuning side of things. Can't wait to take it out. So yeah, thank you very much for watching. Hopefully this has been an informative video. Yeah, it should be a nice car to drive still, and we shall see you in the next one. Peace.
Hi guys, I'm Rish and welcome to the next video.
I'm going to leave you to it.